We are here, we are here, we are here. Hello. You might notice I have some stuff set up in OBS. Okay, so, oh, by the way, I should probably introduce myself. Hello, my name is Senike. I was put in time. So I guess my OBS skills are no longer a crime. Um, I thank you for waiting for a week after streaming every day for a month, minus 3 days. I need just a little bit of a break and to get caught up on stuff. I made some delicious stew last week and ate that like 5 times. Actually, no, I made that on Tuesday, and then I ate that Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, and then I ate it for lunch on Friday. So I did have it like 4 days in a row. That's what you do when you live alone. You just eat this, you just cook, bake, and then eat the same meal for like 3 or 4 days, especially if your work provides lunch for, well, it doesn't provide lunch for me, but they have a cafeteria and I just eat there. And it's honestly cheaper to eat there because it's like $4 or $5 to eat there. And sometimes you can't even eat from home for that much. Especially if you're cooking. Well, I guess you could, depending on the stuff that you're cooking and like what it is that you're eating, but you can't eat that well for that price. So it's totally worth it. And it just comes right out of your paycheck. So, anywho, don't scoodle. So, do 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 do. But one thing I was talking about at the end of last week, last Saturday, is that now that I have these guys done, I want to set up. I tried using them with the PNG Tuber software, but I found out that it wasn't really like to my liking. Like I could set up 3 instances of it, and I could switch back and forth between them, but it had this weird caveat where if I made something go away and then I wanted to switch over to it, um, I would have to not only make it visible in OBS, but I would also have to uh, click on it in, yeah, my brain died, uh, in, click on the actual like PNG Tuber program as well. When really I just wanted to like go up and go down, go up and go down, go up and go down. So what I want to spend today figuring out is I have made, because I think I might be able to do this. I've made little pencillion here, and this is not in PNG Tuber. Right now, this is just an actual like image slideshow that I have set up in OBS. And what I want to figure out is um I can like manually switch it back and forth between, right? Um but I think if I turn it on it'll just loop. But I want to see if there's a way for to just set up something in OBS where it will just switch back and forth because that's all I really need to do, and that's all a PNG tuber really is. And I can set like a bounce in OBS too. Like I can do a whole bunch of stuff. I could recreate this entirely in OBS, and then I would actually be able to switch back and forth between them a lot easier. Is it more work? Yes, much more so. But I think it will. But if I can just figure out how to do it with one, then I can just kind of do that with all of them. So um, so I didn't want to because I'm going to be cooking tomorrow. And I was like, well, I didn't know it. I'm going to figure out this stuff with OBS today, but I'm going to do that later in the night. But just kind of today, throughout the day, I'm just going to play a little bit of Factorio. 12 hours of Factorio later, it was 1 a.m. I was like, I gotta go get a shower and go to bed. Oops, oops. So gosh. And I also found out something very important. Now my thumb's been messing with me, and I like haven't really been getting any better. Like even though I haven't really been using my thumb, after my 12-hour Factorio-thon yesterday, my thumb's right back to hurting just as much as it always has. Even though I really wasn't using my thumbs, but I was using these fingers. So I'm thinking, and I was holding like forward and bunch, so I'm thinking like me constantly having to like do this motion with my left hand is actually exasperating these muscles like right here, which are the main culprit. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about that because my job is working in IT, so it's not like I just can't type. I could also just not play Factorio for 12 hours. That's an option too. But um, oh gosh, I didn't even really get that much done. Actually, no, I did get it. All right, so I'm doing Space Age, and mind you, I've never beaten like just normal Factorio. I just went straight to Space Age, like an insane person. So, and I have a platform, and I'm trying to get to like my first planet. I'm really like I'm there was at one point where I was like I'm definitely going to Vulcanus first. But now I think I'm gonna go to Fulgora first. Um just because I finally figured out how to use logistic robots and they're amazing. God, are they amazing? I had like construction bots going. Um Once I started using those, I was like, oh my god, I can just like it actually makes sense to copy and paste and to like use blueprints and things like that because you just put it out and all of a sudden your little dudes just go out and they put it all in and it's incredible. I'm like, I don't have to build everything by hand anymore. This is great. I have to build it by hand like once and then after that never again. It's awesome. But um but um but so I was going around. I was like, all right, I need to set up like automation of actually just making these freaking robots. Um, so I went around and set that up. So I was going about trying to set that up, but I kept getting distracted. I kept getting distracted because I was like, well, I also got to set up defenses, but I kept getting attacked by biters. And I was starting to set up defenses, and then I was watching like some videos, and they say like, hey, just cut off like choke points, like if you have those. I was like, well, I have those, so I put walls in front of all my choke points, got rid of everything in between, and that actually worked for quite a while. I was actually able to work on stuff. And I also randomly figured out like have a very very jank and bad coal liquefaction build that I started in between just to add a little bit of more plastic into the system that's not working and I need to fix. It's not working at all. But uh, so I had all of that going, um, and I just kept getting distracted. And I kept getting freaking distracted by the stupid biters. And finally, yesterday, I had enough. I set up enough time so I could just finish the making of my robots and just like get those started, get those automated, get them making. I want like 900 of each. Let's go. It's not the most efficient, but it gets the job done. And then I was like, all right. But every once in a while, I kept having to stop and like, because I was getting attacked, fences, walls were getting broken on the choke points. So I had to go and like clear those out. Then I just started setting up defenses at the choke points rather than just like one line of wall. Then I was like, I need to set these up so that these are going to be something that can just permanently hold everything off while I'm gone on other planets. Because um, inside of the choke points, I still have plenty of resources to use. I have untapped oil. I have like millions of copper, coal, stone, uranium, uh, iron. I have literally everything that I need. Um, Currently within inside all these different choke points. Turns out there's like 12 of them really handily in a circle around. So what as I did is I finally set up like 3 layers of walls, a ton of laser turrets, got everything connected to power and whatnot. And it was actually holding stuff off, but things were still getting damaged and destroyed. So I was like, okay, now I have to set up roboports and I have to. So I had to automate those being made. And then I was like, all right, now I need these things to be constantly being supplied. So I went around and I made a huge uh, loop going around my entire base of trains so it can constantly supply everything over there with repair packs of the walls, with extra pieces of walls, with extra wall pieces, so that um, I can have trains that constantly running, just resupplying these defense points. So that way I can just go to Fulgora and focus everything on getting to Fulgora because I tried to go there once, but was not prepared for the actual giant asteroids, and everything got destroyed, and I just had to very slowly limp my way. Like, this sucks. This freaking sucks. So I need to connect absolutely everything with roboports. Um, I need to get my supply trains for the defense points all up and running and working, and then I need to rename them because there was 12 defense points, and they're all like, I realized later, they're all like pretty conveniently in like a clock pattern, but for some reason I named the one bottom right one because that's where I started with the train, and then by the time I got up to like the one at the top, I was like, hey, wait a minute, these are the clock pattern. So I have to go around and rename all of them so I don't get confused. It's a whole thing. I spent so much time, and I feel like I'm limping along. I'm doing Space Age, and I probably have 40 hours just on Novice. Easy, easy. Um, but I'm this close to having everything set up so that I just don't have to worry about things on Novice anymore. And I can just focus on actually making a decent platform to get to one of the other planets. I'm thinking Fulgora because the science pack you get from there is also the one that you use for increasing the speed of your robots. And now that I'm actually using them and I am using my requester robots, my logistics robots, sorry, my requester robots, my logistic robots actually like go and get me stuff all the way across my brace and bring them back without me having to go get the stuff myself. I'm like, man, A, two things. One, now I know why everybody has main buses and centralized. Now I know why everyone has main buses and like centralized crafting of everything because if you don't, it takes like 10 minutes for your freaking robots to bring stuff from across the map. Because I was going at it fully Satisfactory style, like how I played Satisfactory, where there are people who like belt everything back to like one big gigantic base. But most of the time, you're building stuff like you're going to dedicate like an entire biome to building like a few things. So you're going to have like factories all over the place because it's just easier to do that rather than to have a ton of stuff going into like one spot and then you have to like use it somehow, when instead you could just be like, all right, instead of running miles of belts leading all back to like this one biome that I've just completely asphalted, why don't I just have like maybe a few 100 feet of belts that all lead into this just one factory over here, um, where I have most of everything, and then I only have to have like maybe one train bringing in, or like a few drones bringing in like plastic or something that's not here. So rather than bringing everything to one spot, you just bring in a few of the things that you're missing in this one biome. Like, what is it? I would always turn the swamp biome into a gigantic battery factory to power all my drones. Um, and then once that starts and you got things delivering everywhere, and you always have those like little bits and pieces and doodads that you're missing. So there's no reason, and you can just bring them in with trains and drones and whatnot. And while you're setting up the base, you just set up that stuff to start coming in, so you have a surplus. So you really never have to worry about being low on stuff if it's not in the biome. So I was fully coming at Factorio with that mindset. Just be like, oh hey, over here's a good spot to set up this factory. Over here's a good spot to set up this factory. Over here's a good spot to set up this factory. It's a bad way to do it in Factorio. It just is. Once you figure out drones and logistics and construction robots, because rather than just having like, oh yeah, I'm going to just, because now whenever you need something, you have to, and especially if you're using like logistic robots to go get it, which is still faster than me going and getting it on my own. Because it's like, oh, let's say you're starting a build and all of a sudden you realize that you were low on inserters, and you have to like get in your tank and drive back and get him, and then drive back and start. And then all of a sudden, a little bit later, if you realize that you're low on steel, you're like, oh my god, so much driving back and forth. Now, what you can do with the logistic robots is you can just put down a requester, be like, hey, I need this stuff, go do something else. They bring in all the stuff, and you grab the stuff that you were missing. It's great. It's awesome. But it still takes freaking forever, especially with stuff so spread out. And it would be a lot faster if I had everything more centralized. Yay! Yay! So I really have to pee 1 second. It's so bad. Oh my god. Bing. Sorry, I'll be back. What? I just thought of something. My bathroom was on the other side of the wall over there. Can you hear me pee? I need to look back at one of my VODs and see if you can actually hear that. I know because I could walk in here and I could hear the toilet flushing, but can you hear me pee? I might need to make sure I have a noise gate on. Yeah, but anyways, once I get all of that set up in Factorio, I need to do two things. One, I need to start a new space platform, and this one I'm just going to dedicate to making white science packs. And I actually know a little bit about circuit networks now, so I'm going to try setting those up so that, because right now the current system I have is just real bad. But I'm going to set up another space platform just for making like white science packs. Um, and then I am going to take the one that I built first that currently has engines on it, and I'm gonna redo that just a tiny bit, um, change a couple things, and uh, outfit that one solely for like travel to different places. Um, and then I'm gonna probably go to Fulgora first. Um, uh, Fulgora, and I think I want to do both Fulgora and Volcanus before I do Gleba, because I just heard everyone being like Gleba. So I'm gonna do those other two first, and then let's see. But I know on Fulgora, you, I know it's You get a you don't it's a lot of there's really just like old like scrap that you're mining up, and you have to recycle it all, and you get like base components out of it. It's a lot of sushi belts. It's a lot of sushi belts, and it's a lot of thinking backwards for the things that you need. Like, oh, well, I'm getting all of these things. I need to like unmake these so that I can then turn them into this and whatnot. So, but I also heard that there's also there is also no like life on the planet, so I don't gotta worry about attacks. I do have to worry about lightning strikes, but there's a way that just turn those into electricity. So that's just electricity. You just got to build enough of the things to do it. Um, so that's not really a big deal. And apparently that electromagnetic thing really helps out with processing chip production. So that's pretty awesome. Um, so yeah. So we'll get that. And I think then once I finish up, and then I'm gonna head to Volcanus, and then I think I'm going to come back to Novice, and I'm gonna reset up literally. I'm gonna actually like I'm gonna reset up literally everything. Um, research a bunch of. I'm gonna spend a bunch of time researching while I research everything. Actually, make a main bus, um, and start some more centralized processing and manufacturing. Um, and basically start completely over from scratch. Well, I kind of started doing a main bus in Factorio without really realizing it. Because I had like this one, I had this one, I had this one double belt of iron plates that was going through that was feeding a bunch of factories that I had that were just making science. Um, and I think that's the thing that I think that's the thing that I'm I think that's the thing that I've kind of messed up on. Science production needs to be its own thing, but I also for all like the base components and everything else like that, like the miners and everything, um, those need to be those need to be uh my brain is dying on me. What was I even saying? Um, Oh yeah. So there's a bunch of times where you need like certain buildings, like a an electric furnace for different science packs. Um, or you'll need like certain productivity models for science packs or whatnot. And one thing that I've been doing is I've just been skimming off of that process if I ever needed any of those. But really, I just need to set up their own like dedicated assembler that's just making those things efficiently. um, that's really small, um, is and is just meant to make those things that I actually like use in building and whatnot, so that I always have like so that I always have those items when I need them, like steel, iron plates. Um, let's see, I don't think I do need copper plates for a few things. Copper plates, um, wire, everything. Just like a little bit of everything in like a requester chest, ready for me to request or passive um, in a passive provider chest, ready for me to request them if ever. I think I have something somewhere I need to go through because I have a bunch of like tier 2 productivity modules that are just ending up in like random storage chests that I have placed all over the place. I don't know where I'm making tier 2 productivity modules, and but I think it's an active provider chest, and I need to switch that to a passive provider chest like ASAP. But because I've just been like going around and be like, oh hey, what do I have in this random storage chest? It's logistic storage chest I put down, and there's like a bunch of tier 2 productivity modules. I'm like, I didn't make these. I don't know where these are coming from. So, and that's how I learned the difference between an active provider chest and a passive provider chest. Active provider chest says like, hey, these go into the system and they'll just go wherever, into storage anywhere. Like a drone is going to come and get these and take these away, whether you want them to or not. Or a passive provider is like, hey, a drone will come and get them if they're needed. So yeah, I'm sure there's a way to use active provider chest. Um, I think if you need to, I think it's probably best if you need to move something across like gaps, be like, oh hey, here's an active provider chest. I guess you could still just use. I guess you could still just use passive provider chest and be like, hey, just always be bringing this item to this, but it's just available over here. Um, I don't know. I feel like you'd just be using I feel like active provider. You could still be using passive providers and requester chest and storage chest. I don't know. I don't know how to really use the other two chests. Anyways, I'm talking about Factorio. I was talking something else entirely that I wanted to be doing today. But I'm gonna redo literally everything from the ground up. Main bus, get stuff being brought in. I probably am still gonna just smelt everything on site, um, and then bring it in and refine it further from there. Well, I think I'm gonna smelt everything into plates, like iron plates and copper plates, on site, and then bring it in. Um, that's probably that's probably gonna be best, especially since I got a food smelting upgrade. Although, because I have a few smelting upgrades. I actually need to look at that because my thing's about like logistics. If I had a couple smelting upgrades and I'm now getting 2 plates for every ore, then it would be a bad idea to bring in the plates because I would have just double the amount of stuff that I would have to ship in by train. Um, when That's probably why they always bring in the ore. Actually, now that I think about it, because with a couple upgrades, it's all of a sudden way, way, way worse to bring in the plates because you have to double the amount of stuff that you have to move. Okay, actually, now that I said that out loud, anyways, I have Factorio on the brain, but I literally can't play it today because I will destroy my left hand if I do. So my dad gave me these like was talking to my parents about like, hey, it's like I got like inflammation in my hand, and that's what's been causing it. And my dad was like, I got something for you. He gave me these like methylene blue gummies. He says, hey, eat 2 of these in the morning, and I've taken them. They're really helping me with like inflammation and whatnot in my joints. I'm like, okay, well, whatever, I'll take them. So uh, so I'm gonna start trying those out tomorrow and see if that doesn't help out a little bit. But who knows? Who knows, really? Any hoodle McScoodle, yay! Um, I'm been uh, let's see. Okay, so let's actually focus on what I want to do. So, oh, I'm still have the bathroom thing up. Hold up. So what I want to do today is I want to see if there's a way that I can like copy what happens with PNG tubers in OBS. Like, is there a way that I can make this guy bounce? Is there a way? Um, is there a way that I can? Is there a way that I can have him switch in between the two pictures? Let's see. PNG Tuber OBS. So using like StreamerBot and whatnot. PNG Tuber Plus tutorial. I don't want to use PNG Tuber because that's the very thing that's causing me the issues right now. Oh, hold on.
Gonna need
Hold on. Hold on. I think I found what we're looking for here. Okay, so this is Mr. Shindigs. He is. Where is. There we go. Okay, this. Let me set this to here. We set this to this. So he's kind of like. He's a guy I follow a lot for like cool. He does a ton of like cool uh like chat interactions and does crazy stuff with OBS. He's probably the guy we want to watch for this. Is this actually showing up on stream? Yeah, okay, here we go. This is gonna be like a mini react.
boom. I'm a talking square, but I'm a square VTuber. 3D's out, 2D's out. We're returning to basic form VTubing. All right, yeah, hard cut from the roleplay to some actual knowledge drop. Okay, so you know my character, it's actually a live 2D model because I can like wink. I actually put this into live 2D, but it is actually pretty expressive because of all the filters I added onto it. Right, it's got like a little animated bounce. It has like a little talk marker. So you can technically do this with any source, with any OBS source. And I'm going to show you how to use this on anything. It's actually a really interesting trick. You're going to need OBS image reaction, this plugin, which actually lets you add reactive images to OBS. Scale to sound, this adds the bouncing effect that you see, and the move plugin, which is just actually the most goated plugin of all time. The first thing you're going to do, I'm going to use this with an image.
What were those two? OBS reactive image plugin? Oh, Windows, yeah. Okay. You're probably not gonna see much. Yeah, save. Okay, cool. Hold on a second. I might end up having to restart OBS. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Scale to sound plugin. Welcome to how I like to do things. Wait. Oh wait. So hold on. Go to download. Wait. How do I do this? Oh, scale to sound 1.25, 1.2.5. Windows. Cool. Okay. Yep. I'm so glad I know the basics about Windows, about computers. Oh my god. OBS move. Yay. Linux, Windows. Do I want the move transition Windows installer or the Windows zip? Okay, we went to Windows installer because it's actually like an installer. Okay, there we go. Cool. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I might need to end stream and come back. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Gotta extract this. I'm not gonna show you my files, so extract. You can't see my files. You shouldn't be able to. I don't have this in a window. All right, read me text. Ooh. Installation. Extract the archive. Move the contents of the plugin into your OBS installation directory. Move the contents of plugin into extract the archive, move the contents of plugin into your OBS. Okay, so this is data, OBS plugins. Okay, so these are all important. Okay, then I need to move this entire thing into my OBS installation directory. Okay, time to learn some new stuff. Where's my OBS? Is it in programs or files or 86? Oh, it's in regular program files. Oh, okay. Into OBS installation directory. Oh, does this need to go into the plugins? Is this 32-bit or 64-bit? Oh, wait, do I already have the move transition in here? Wait. I already have move in here. Okay. I already have the move one. Wait, what was the one that I was looking at? It was the image reaction one. Okay. Um, okay, that's 64. Um, oh shoot. Oh man, I don't know if I should be doing this live. I'm gonna be honest. Wait, does he go over? Wait, do I already have move? Yeah, because I hold up with this, and then oh, yeah, I go to is it filters and then no, I remember doing this a while ago. Oh, transform. Man, I remember doing this like a year or so ago. Move action. Yeah, I remember now. It's in filters. That's what it is. Um, or maybe it's not. Okay, let's watch this through and see if we
Image
can
reaction first, right? So
actually figure out when you
I'm
could have
gonna
done.
right click the scene, click add, image reaction, right? And in this box, you can add two images, one for when the image is silent and one when the image detects sound. Okay, and I actually
This is exactly what I want.
one. So this is just a static image. Look, see no bottom, there's nothing, it's live 2D. But I actually loaded up with two different images here. And
I already
if
have
I
the two
set the audio
images.
source to my mic,
This is exactly what I want
detects my
actually.
mic. Cool. And set the reaction threshold up, the mouth opens when I talk. The image switches to the other image when I talk. And you want to adjust the threshold so it like feels natural. This is pretty flat, you know, not very expressive. The other thing that I'm not showing off here is that the reactive image can be a GIF. It could be like a moving image in the second one. So that's another way to make it more expressive. But I really want to show you what you can do with just a static image, okay? So I'm going to move the threshold lower, keep it like that. And then I'm going to add a filter. I'm going to add a scale to sound filter. And what this does, this adds like bounce movement to the image every time there's audio. So I set the audio source to my mic, and look, it's already bouncing, right? Already that's like looking way more animated. I want to get it to bounce like up and down.
This is exactly what I want.
I don't want it like zooming in. You can adjust these parameters here to kind of see how much it bounces. So if I put the minimum size to 0, gets really small. Then every time I talk, I'm like, yo, I'm up in your face. Is this specifically using microphone input only, not a camera? You can use any audio source. I could map this to like desktop audio source. Yeah, so I'm linking it to this stream now. And you can see it's actually reacting to the audio.
It's like one of those. Oh my god. I remember they always used to have those like visualizers for music back in the day. That's what it reminds me of.
Okay, so there are a lot of parameters here you can adjust to like adjust the bounce to your liking.
They don't make those anymore. It's really sad. We need those back.
Scale width and scale height options.
Man, back in like
the one I want to check first is
90s, early 2000s, they were just kind of doing whatever they wanted with computers. They were like, these things are magic. Let's make magic.
Like,
now it's all about like,
you know, this is more of the bounce that I want.
Making sure that it's as
I don't want it like
an easy to use UI as possible. Apple's really poisoned the ecosystem a little bit in that instance, which is both a good and bad thing.
Now this is more like an anime bounce. You can even make it really exaggerated. So if I put the minimum size all the way down, it's like I only appear if I talk. But now I want a little bit of like a squish effect too. I did watch a video about animation fundamentals. There's something called squash and squish.
Stretch.
And I think I kind of just ran into it, you know, but it's exactly the vibe I'm going for. So now to get a squish effect, I'm going to add a second scale to sound filter. I'm going to make it scale width instead of scale height. And then I'm going to do inverse scaling, right? So once I turned on inverse scaling, you can see I already have this bounce. And if I like modify the minimum size, it can, you know, I can get squished even more when I talk. But this gives it a much more animated effect. Squash and stretch. Sorry, that's it. Squash and stretch. And look, this is just like 2 static images. This looks pretty expressive. So I'm going to add one more thing.
This is exactly what I'm looking for.
I have this image that I can link out again in the description below. So I also have this thing, this talk marker. I was looking for what it was called in anime for so long. It's called Manpu, M-A-N-P-U, if ever you find out. And so I wanted this thing to kind of show up to add one more layer of expression to indicate when I'm talking. What I'm going to do, and actually what I'm going to do here is I'm really squished down. So I'm going to adjust my guy first really quick.
Is that the...
Yeah, there we go. That looks a little more reasonable. And now I only want this thing to show up when I'm talking. So this is when I'm going to use the move filter. Okay, so the move filter comes with visual move filters and audio move filters. And to use the audio move filters, I'm going to click these 3 dots in my mic channel, go to filter, and now you can add audio filters to your sound channels. So I'm going to right click and click add audio move. This will show up after you install the move plugin. And what this does, it gives you a bunch of different options to change things based on audio. So this is when I'm going to use the move filter. Okay, so the move filter comes with visual move filters and audio move filters. And to use the audio move filters, I'm going to click these 3 dots in my mic channel, go to filter, and now you can add audio filters
Do I have those?
to your sound channels. So I'm going to right click.
Okay, I do have the move filter installed.
This will show up after you install the move plugin.
I just don't remember how to use it. Oops. I do have that one installed.
What this does, it gives you a bunch of different options to change things based on audio levels. So there's transform, there's like settings, source visibility, filter enable. I'm going to keep it simple and just do source visibility, which means this will show and hide a source based on audio levels. And so the scene that I want to affect is scene 2 here. And the source is called is the image source. And the easing, and let's see, meter type magnitude. I actually don't know. I just play around with all these. There's a channel that I've been catching up on lately called, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Gale Level. They do incredible. They're actually grinding out a ton of really good tutorials. I need to give them a shout out. But they have a really good video on all the audio filters, and they go through all of this stuff. But I just experiment with it. Okay, so I'm going to leave it on magnitude. I'm going to put the threshold up, and threshold action, I'm going to set it to enable over and disable under. So what that means is when it's over the threshold, it's going to show the image, and when it's under the threshold,
I can set mine up so they kind of do like little like a
so now it's hidden. But if I adjust the threshold,
kind of like in a
somewhere
kind of like all the furniture
Maybe,
dancing, like
okay,
the beginning
maybe
of like
instead
Mickey
of
Mouse
like
Clubhouse or
peak
something like that.
sample,
So I can have a little bit of like that
true
Blue's
input. Okay.
Clues, like Adult Swim
Okay,
version of
so I
Blue's
have it on
Clues
input
thing that
peak
I'm trying to
sample. So
go
that's what
for.
works for me. You might need to find what works for you, but I have it on input peak sample
Because I don't really
with,
want
just messing around with the
this
threshold,
little like talk
and now it
thing.
only shows up
Um, uh,
when I talk. So
but
now
it
I
is
have
kind
this
of good to
talk
know that
marker
I
that
can
only
have
shows
something
up
that
when I
only
talk.
shows up when you
But
talk.
there's one more
That's
thing
something
I
that's
actually
nice
want
to
to add
learn.
here, because there's one thing about this that really bugs me, which is the talk marker. I kind of want it to move with my model. I kind of want it to squash and stretch with my model. Like I can get super squished and it's not going to squish with me. And I really want it to squish with me, actually. I really want it to like move with the model to add that extra layer of expression.
Mm-hmm.
So how am I going to do that? Well, I'm actually going to group these two sources together, the talk marker and the model. Right click both. So I select both of them, right click, go to group selected items, and I'm going to call this the model group. I should name these. Okay. And then I'm going to take my scale to sound filters and put them in the group. You can put filters into groups, which is a actually amazing technique that you can do to like affect multiple things at once. And instead of copying each individual one over and over, I'm going to right click my image reaction and go to copy filters. So it just copies all the filters I set to image reaction and then paste filters. So it saves all my settings and it saves all the filters I had there.
I just held control and clicked something else, and
this is a weird thing.
and a wild guess and was like, wait, can I select more than one thing that way? You can in group. I had no idea there was grouping in OBS until just this moment.
Like, I don't know why it does this, but you just got to do that. See, I'm back for both. And now I can go back to my image reaction and just disable these two filters because I don't need them anymore. I can just delete them actually from my base image reaction, because now I have scale to sound on the model group. You can kind of tell that the talk marker now moves with my model. Okay, I'm going to make it a little more exaggerated so it's easier to see. Yeah, see? Now the talk marker like scales with me. If you don't care about the talk marker scaling or don't have a talk marker, it doesn't matter. You can just do it to a source. But let me show you another advantage to having it in a group, actually. Is now anything in this folder will squash and stretch to your voice, right? So you can put anything in this folder and it will have the same reaction. So check this out. I'm going to right click. I'm going to add just a random color source, just like a big block, just a rectangular block. Actually a square block. I'm going to put it into this folder. Boom. I'm a square VTuber. 3D's out, 2D is out. It's all about basic forms. We're returning to basic form VTubing. Or I can just drag in pictures. Now I'm Benjamin Franklin, and he's moving around like he's a VTuber. You know, could do this. Now I'm a live Dr. Han reaction VTuber. You know, live funny image VTuber. Now I am the freedom of speech guy. Now I'm a controversial opinion VTuber. So easy.
Way too many of those, honestly.
Okay, let's get even crazier with this. I need to hide this really quick. I can also just add any OBS source to this folder and all the filters will apply to it. So now I am a VTuber that is the desktop capture of the desktop in which I'm making this VTuber. Right, so now I can just do a random window capture. And now I'm the twitch.tv VTuber. I'm the entire Twitch website. You know, I'm talking as the entire Twitch website avatar. And so you can even like capture your games and do this, right? So this works with any source in OBS.
Okay.
Are you getting it? Like, you can stick any OBS source under this folder and you can animate it like this. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. We do a lot of interactive stream concepts on my Twitch, and if this video helped your stream, give the video.
All right, I really like this guy. He does so much cool stuff. Even if you're not going to watch his stuff, just follow. If you're into streaming at all, just follow him on Twitter. I believe it's just @Shindigs. Let me look. let me look. He does a lot of cool stuff. Uh, let's see. Let's see. Shin Digs. Uh, actually, it's not. It's at Shin Dags. I almost turned my phone and showed it to the camera. Let's see. I'll put it on the stream. Oh, I can just add a new text. Let's see. Uh, text. I cannot spell today. I also should not be typing. Ooh. All right. Text at Shin Dags. Cool. Okay. There we go. At Shin Dags on Twitter. At Shin. I spelled that right? At Shin Dags. Yep. Cool guy. Does a lot of cool stuff. Um, so much cool stuff. If you ever want to be like, uh, let's see. He's inspired me to. I've had a lot of ideas for stuff based off of stuff that I've seen him do. I've been a little scared to implement it, um, but now that I'm actually breaking out, and actually I actually have like a theme for my channel, or I'm going to in the future. Um, then I actually want to, and actually want to start doing some fun stuff with that. And this guy he does a ton of stuff. And he walks you through how to do absolutely everything. If you make something cool, he'll make a video on his channel showing you how to do it. Or usually showing you how to do it, and it's usually all done in OBS too. Really cool guy. Uh, makes a lot of cool stuff. Highly recommend. Give him a follow. Anyways, okay. Where is that? Boop. Okay, so it's mostly these plugins that we need to figure out now, and I might have to end stream for that because I'm pretty sure I don't think I can make changes to OBS whilst it's running. Well, I probably can put the stuff in, but I probably shouldn't. Oh man. Okay. It's the the directions: extract the archive, move the contents of plugin into the OBS installation directory. Okay, so that's just the data. Okay, so I guess it'd just be OBS plugins. So 64-bit. Okay, I think I just had to move this over into here. Okay, so here's Johnny. Uh, continue. I am an admin for my own computer. There we go. Okay, and that should be it. That's for the image reaction. That more than anything is what I want. I already have the move filter in. I forgot I had put that. I had done that like forever ago. I did that whenever I was trying to figure out my like something fun I wanted to do for a video. I made a flashbang. I don't know if it still works. I did all that in StreamerBot. But I was really thinking, okay, I'm really glad I found this video because I was thinking I was gonna have to like make something from scratch using like the voice commands in StreamerBot. I had no idea that there was something that was exactly what I wanted already. Let's frickin' go. Okay, so you can't see what I'm doing because I'm not showing you my. We're just not doing that. We're just not doing that. All right, I already have move, scale to sound. That's the one that we need to do now. Yes. Just extract to the same folder. Data. Okay, so is this the same thing where I just need to scale to sound? Okay. Where I just need to move that DDL. Do I? Do I just need to move both of these into the plugins folder? What about the data folder? Do I need to move that into the data folder? There isn't really a data folder though. It's just these. I think I just need to move both of these. Actually, hold on. I want to undo that. Oh no, scale the sound because I want to. Hold on. I want to keep this back where it was. Okay, and then copy and paste. Yes, go for it. Cool. Okay, so if we're following the same logic as the other one, I just need to do that. What about this data folder? That also has something that's in OBS plugins. Default moves.effect. Is there anything else in here that needs that? There's .exes. Okay, I'm going to I'm going to we're gonna go back to here. Okay, let's say we take. Okay, so I've already set up. Actually, hold on. I need to do this differently. Do I have? Okay, no, 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 no. What did I? Oops, no. I forgot I still had that in there. That was for a video I was making, like back in early 2025, maybe. Um, anyways, that didn't go anywhere, but I was glad I made it. Okay, so he got all that set
So
up.
lower, keep it like that. And then I'm going to add a filter,
Wait, no,
like
setting
an
up
image reaction, right? And in this box of all time, the first thing you're going to do, I'm going to use this with an image reaction first, right? So I'm going to right click the scene, click add, image reaction, right? And in this box,
I don't. I'm gonna have to restart OBS in order to see all this stuff. Okay, so
one when the image detects sound.
that's kind of stinky poo poo. Do I want to get the scene? Do I want to get everything? No, because it's really just. I might start up the stream again after this. Actually, depending on what time it is, it's 9:22. We'll set up some stuff. We might do the rest of this off stream. Just because I don't want to have just a bunch of just random streams because these all go to YouTube as well. It's just kind of annoying just to be stopping and starting stream a bunch. But I think I'll work on this a little bit today. I'll see if I can't get one or all of these set up. If I can figure out how to get one of these set up, then maybe on Tuesday when we're back, we might play around with it a bit, and I might show you some stuff that I figured out in the meantime. But we're just gonna stop stream and come back so we can work on it a little bit more. It's not like it's that big of a deal. No one watches me anyways. I was okay. I was just thinking like I don't want to be doing a bunch of streams to get the best of my algorithm. I don't have an algorithm. What am I talking about? Anyways, what am I talking about? All right. All right, we're gonna stop stream. I'm gonna need to restart OBS, and then we're gonna start up stream again. So I'll be